Hey everyone, Megan Olivi here. Thank you so much for joining me today. We've got some exciting things on the docket for you. We're going to take a look at that UFC 252 card, as well as hearing from three of this summer stars. You know, we've got a jam-packed August of UFC action, so we'll be talking to three of your very favorite fighters coming up here in just a few minutes. But first, let's take a look at this UFC 252 card. We've announced some prelim fights, so let's see what is on the docket for us here at UFC 252, August 15th, live from the UFC Apex. Some big fights here. We see Herbert Burns returning against Daniel Pineda, a couple of big strawweight matchups, and then Jim Miller returning once again. This time he's taking on Vince Pichel. So those prelims are on ESPN. Those are great ones to look forward to. And then, of course, our main card, which you may have seen by now, but let's look at it one more time here. Some really awesome matchups. Of course, the trilogy between Stipe and DC. I mean, this is one you do not want to miss. But then such a fun co-main event. Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera. Chito, as everyone knows him. Junior Dos Santos versus Jairzinho. I feel like that heavyweight fight is getting overlooked, and you certainly don't want to miss it. And then some more bantamweight and light heavyweight action. UFC 252. Man, what a card, August 15th. And joining me now is the UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Stipe Miocic. Stipe. Well, thank you so much for joining us. He is the heavyweight champion of the world, Stipe Miocic. Stipe, I know you're a very busy guy, so we do appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
So this camp has had to be interesting for you, obviously, with the,
Sorry about Call of Duty.
But, the world is obviously in a very different place than it was for any of your other fight camps. Plus, you are a first responder. Plus, you're a dad to a little one. I mean, what has this camp really been like for you?
Camp's been crazy. Just trying to get the workouts in that we can. And, we've been pretty lucky, but, not everything's perfect. Everything in a perfect world, everything would be at the gym. But, it's not. But we're doing the best we can. And I think we got a great camping.
What kind of adjustments did you have to make?
I train at the house and stuff like that a lot more. Just like that, partners sometimes they're not there. And, it just, it's been tough, but it's been great.
I saw some Instagram photos of you in the pool. Is that your pool at home where you're actually finding workouts to do there?
No, I actually have a pool at home.
That's nice.
Oh, yeah. The one thing I never want to do was actually put a gym in my house. But, unfortunately, people were crying, so I had to. And, yeah. I did that and, went in my basement, and then, it's great using the pool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw that you were in there with Mila as well, your little daughter. I mean, as she gets older, what kind of inspiration is she providing for you?
Oh, everything. She just, I don't know, just being at home more, I guess, with the workouts, because, it's so hard sometimes, just being at home, getting the workouts there and seeing her all the time. A lot of times I get to miss stuff, but now it's kind of fun. I'll be in the middle of workout, shooting the water too, going, da, da. Like screaming at me, and I'm like, oh, I can't stop, I gotta keep. I can't play. I need to stop, but of course I stop and I'll hang out with her a little bit. But she's my girl, and she's fun. She loves it.
Is she coming to Vegas with you, or is this a solo trip?
No. My wife's going to come. The little one's going to stay back with the in-laws and my mom. My dad.
Staying safe.
Exactly.
We talk about this a lot. We talk about it every single camp, but I've got to imagine it was different for you this time as well. Being a firefighter and being a first responder. Like we said, there's so much going on in the world. I mean, when is your last shift? Have you had it? Are you having it upcoming? I mean, what's happening there?
I already had my last shift. It was August 1st. I just wanted to be safe, make sure I was kind of quarantining and keeping away. So I'll be working right after the fight, though, a couple days after the fight. So no big deal.
Champion in every way, Stipe.
I'm trying.
So let's talk about this trilogy fight with Daniel Cormier. Everybody talking about this is saying it's the best series. It's the best trilogy in UFC heavyweight history. It's, kind of the best rivalry the weight class has ever seen. When you look at it, when you look at this relationship with DC and the first two fights and heading into the third, I mean, what comes to mind?
It's going to be a hell of a fight. I know he's coming out swinging, he's talking about retirement and stuff like that. And so, it's gonna be a great fight. Listen, I go for broke every time. I don't sit back and pitter pat. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna fight. That's what I do. Work out my weaknesses, such as he has. I know he's been working on stuff too. So it's gonna be great. It's great. It's gonna be a great fight because we're gonna have totally different game plans and see who executes. It's gonna be me, but it's all good. It's gonna be a great fight though.
I mean, and it's a very different venue. You're in the UFC Apex. It's intimate.
Yeah.
It's small. It's quiet. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, yes and no. And again, the cage will be smaller. I guess they say we're got his favorite because he's a wrestler, but every fight starts standing, and we're not wrestling. We're fighting. But definitely I got to watch out for that. But it definitely be awkward, no fans. But I really don't. I love having the fans there, but I don't really feed off them. I just I'm more focused on me. My coach is talking to me, stuff like that. So it should be interesting. Probably a little adjustment when I get there, but I'll be all right.
You'll be able to hear your coaches a lot better, I think, than a traditional arena.
That's right. That's for true.
Yeah. Is there a part of you, even though we as fans are so grateful to be able to watch you two fight once again, is there any part of you that's just like, okay, I'm ready for a different opponent?
Wait, what's that? I'm sorry, you broke a little bit. I apologize.
Is there any part of you that is just ready for a different opponent, looking forward to facing somebody that you haven't seen before?
No, I mean, I love what I do. It's the competition aspect, I guess. Third time, it's gonna be a fun fight too. But I think it's the anticipation for this one, especially. You never know what's gonna happen, especially in this sport. That's what I love about it. But if it's someone new or it's DC for the third time, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go in the same mindset, go out there and do my job, and we'll win.
When you envision this fight, I mean, what do you see playing out?
Me walking out with the belt still wrapped around my waist and still my hand raised, nothing changing.
Do you feel like whoever walks away victorious, this will be the GOAT in the UFC heavyweight division?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. So I guess so. I mean, yeah, it'd be cool. Listen, I've done it, I've defended it more times than anyone, and it's pretty cool. Be in that conversation. So yeah, I think so. I mean, listen, everyone has their own opinion. It is what it is. But listen, just to be in the conversation is great.
To not just be in the conversation, to be the guy in the conversation.
Yeah.
You're so humble. I love it. But before I let you go, Stipe, this has been a crazy, I would say 6 months probably for you. What are you most looking forward to once this fight is over?
What about just going back home, chill with my daughter, celebrating my birthday, and enjoying life.
When's your birthday?
Let's see. I'm fighting the 15th, 4 days, 19th, 4 days after the fight.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We're going to have to get you a birthday cake or something at the Apex.
I'm not scared about ice cream cake. I love ice cream cake. I like carrot cake's real good. I love cake.
I'll see what I can do. I'll jot that down. Stipe, best of luck to you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Las Vegas, and we cannot wait for this fight against Daniel Cormier on August 15th.
Me either. Thanks for having me.
Well, from the August 15th card to the August 22nd main event matchup that we have been looking forward to for quite a while now, Frankie Edgar makes his bantamweight debut against Pedro Munoz. And as you can see here on the tail of the tape, Frankie, 5 years Pedro senior. They're both the same height, but here's where it gets interesting. Frankie Edgar with 12 main event slots. This will be the very first time for Pedro Munoz. This one is scheduled for 5 rounds, August 22nd at the UFC Apex. And joining me now is former UFC champ, Frankie Edgar. Frankie, I don't know about you, but I feel like we've been waiting for this 135 debut forever. Does it feel that way to you?
Yes, it definitely does. I think I was supposed to make it in January, and then obviously things didn't work out that way. And then July, we got pushed back another month, but a couple weeks away, and we're almost there.
Physically, what has it been like, especially since now you've had this long amount of time to kind of adjust your body?
Yeah, it's been great, honestly. I just had to be a little bit more disciplined, start a little bit more out with my diet, but I probably feel better, honestly. I know that doesn't sound right, but I just been putting good stuff in my body, no cheating, no pizza, unfortunately. But I feel good.
Is it harder or easier than you first imagined? Because I know on your end, there was kind of a lot of resistance a few years ago about possibly dropping down. I mean, what has it been like comparative to your thoughts?
I haven't got down to scratch. I was pretty close when we were trying to get down in July, but it's been easier so far. I know those last few pounds are always the hardest, but
Sure.
At least as of right now, definitely easier than I thought.
Do you notice any difference in terms of your training? Do you notice a speed difference? Do you notice an explosiveness difference when you are preparing for this fight?
I just feel a healthiness, I guess you could say. I don't know, speed explosiveness. That's hard for me to really, to decipher. But I just haven't had any bad days in the gym. No days where I'm tired and sluggish. I'm feeding my body properly, and I think that's the biggest difference. I think when really don't have to cut that much weight, I would be able to eat a little unhealthy at times, and sometimes I'd feel it in the gym the next day. But this time around, none of that.
Yeah. So, you mentioned the fight when it got pushed back. It seemed like at one point there were people asking to step in to face you. Why did you decide to ultimately stick with your opponent, Pedro Munoz, and just go along with him when he would be ready after his recovery from COVID?
I stepped in on short notice with some other guys, opponent switches, and it really hasn't turned out the right way for me in the past. And, they were throwing names at me last second, and I just figured, let's wait. From what I heard, Pedro was asymptomatic. I knew it was going to be a quick turnaround, and we got to rebook it a month later. So really, not too much lost here.
Yeah. And you're jumping right in at 135. In the deep end, right? He's ranked number 5 currently as the rankings sit today. So a win here makes a big statement. Did you specifically say, like, I want someone in the top 5 or the top 10, or was this just the name the UFC came up with?
Yeah, that's the name they came up with, but they know I'm game. So I'm sure they knew I was looking for someone with name recognition, and, Pedro being number 5, that was a perfect matchup for me.
In terms of the matchup itself, Frankie, what do you see when you stylistically envision this one?
Yeah, Pedro's a stud, man. He has heavy hands. He's hard to take down, and if you do take him down, you got to worry about his jiu-jitsu. He's a high level grappler. So, I like the matchup. One of the first times in my career I'm going to be harder than my opponent.
We're so looking forward to this one because I feel like there's so many ways this could go. And I feel like we haven't seen a lot of your grappling and wrestling in your recent fights. Sometimes it's something that we look forward to and we don't get to see. Is that something you're looking to show off?
Yeah, I'm always looking to wrestle guys if I can. That's just kind of my nature. And, I mix it up. Even if I don't get it, I definitely try for it. So, I'm sure the opportunity is going to present itself in this fight. I'm going to definitely go for those takedowns.
Ultimately, why do you think you'll get your hand raised?
I think I'll get my hand raised. I do believe I'm still one of the best fighters in the world. And, I've proven that at 55, at 45, and, I think I'm going to do that at 35 as well.
Man, 3 weight classes, Frankie. Do you ever take a step back to kind of look at that and what you've been able to accomplish in this sport?
I think looking back is for later on in the career. So I kind of just try to look ahead. I'm definitely proud of everything I've done, but, I just try to worry about the work I got to put ahead of me. Okay.
So that being said, what can we expect from bantamweight Frankie Edgar?
It just a little bit smaller version of myself, I'm still going to go out there. I think my cardio is going to even be better if that's possible. And, I'm going to push the pace on Pedro and to try to make him uncomfortable in there.
With a big win here, he's ranked number 5. You are a former champion. This is now your 3rd weight class. In the state of 135 pounds, Frankie, where would that put you?
Yeah, that puts me in the mix. I think, based on my career, my name recognition, I'm always in the mix of a title. And, a big win over Pedro will definitely put me in that in the name of hats. I know 35 is a real hot division right now. There's a lot of guys vying for that title. So, I'm willing to put my work in, and it starts with Pedro on the 22nd.
Man, what a time to make your bantamweight debut. That division is red hot, and just adding your name to it, is going to be something incredible. We are so looking forward to seeing you as a bantamweight. Best of luck to you. Happy eating, healthy eating.
Yes, thank you, Megan. Always a pleasure. Look forward to seeing you guys out in Vegas.
Well, man, August 22nd, what a good card this is because we've got another fire matchup. This one between Yoel Romero and Uriah Hall, a huge one in the UFC middleweight division. Yoel Romero, 7 years older than Uriah Hall. Uriah with a bit more MMA experience there, as you can see from his record, and a 6-inch reach advantage, although they are both 6 feet tall. Uriah Hall with that 6-inch reach. Man, this is going to be a fun fight. And joining me now is Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall, in the midst of a busy day in Dallas, so I do appreciate you taking some time to chat with me today. So speaking of Dallas, how is life there and training at Fortis?
Man, I don't even know where to start. I want to cough. What a way to start. And it's funny, you can't even cough no more.
Without the side eye from everyone around you.
I know everyone's looking at me right now. No, Dallas has been great. Dallas is different. I feel like Dallas is in their own bubble because the rules are so different out here, the atmosphere, but a lot of things are blooming. I know business wise, and prior to speaking to Coach months before this, he told me about coming out here, making a move, and just to kind of solidify my spot. I don't know what's going on. What the hell, bro?
I'm so sorry, Darren. I can't even give you water.
Do we have any water? He just told me to move out here to make sure that, I can stay close to training because I was traveling out here for training and, that's wasting money. So he was like, just come out here, make it one deal. And so far it's been a good experience.
Do you feel like you see a difference in yourself as a mixed martial artist since the move there?
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain this more in details. For every athlete, it's different. I think one of the best ways I can say it is, we're all lions in a room filled with lions, and all we're just trying to do, thank you, is just to chase that gazelle. All of us is chasing that world title, and in doing that, it's whoever goes out there and put a lot on the line. And just being here, it's different and it's uncomfortable. And I think I just have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And what I love about the gym experience, Safe has just kind of took me under his wing, and I feel like a new student again. So I love it. Who's making that gosh freaking mailman? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They just love closing doors right now.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Sorry.
As we have watched you through 2020 and your road to the title, like you mentioned, man, it's been winding and at no fault of your own. But for you, what have these hurdles in the year 2020 been like for you?
Well, it's been a whirlwind. And I think the last time, and I do apologize for this, and the last time I had an interview with everybody, I was in quarantine. I locked myself in the gym. I isolated myself, and let's just say when you hang out with your demons too much, that you kind of become them again. But just being in that experience, you train so hard for the fight, you isolate yourself through COVID. I mean, the gym wasn't even open, and I went into Rocky mode. I started to run, and I wasn't training a certain way. I had to take low calories. It was just a cluster. But one of the main things I didn't quit. And I think as a martial artist, as a fighter, as a warrior, it's important to have that mindset. Just like in MMA, where you never know what's going to happen. You could be doing so good, you get caught unexpectedly, you have to adjust. And I think I had to just adjust to the environment. And when the fight didn't happen, I was devastated. And I try to ask myself why. And I just remember my mom saying that, your disappointment is God's appointment, and you never know what's the real purpose of all this and what he's protecting you from. And despite what's happening, it's happening. So accept that it's happening and take what you can from it and move forward. And I took that, and turns out that, now I have one of the best fighters in the world at a higher ranking, which is Yoel. And I think it might have been a blessing in disguise,
First off, I love your mom's advice. I feel like I'm taking that to heart right now. That is some beautiful words of wisdom from mom. So thank you for that. Let's talk about Yoel. What was the reaction when the UFC called you, or whoever called you and said, this is the matchup we want to make?
Well, to be honest, I wanted Yoel for a long time. I wanted Yoel before Izzy got Yoel. I was calling Dana, I was hounding him, and it was business. So from the ranking standpoint, from a business standpoint, I didn't get him, but I told my coach that's who I wanted. I like big fights like that because it brings the best out of me as a warrior. I'm let's be real here. I think UFC is the biggest, the baddest sport in the world. We have the best athletes, and it's not a team. It's not like, hey man, tag, you're in. It's like my teammates, my coaches bring me here, but I have to go in there by myself. So to be able to think on your feet like that and react, you couldn't ask for a more intelligent sport. So why not go up against the best? And that's what I wanted. I wanted to go up against the best. And I think Yoel is definitely one of the best. Yeah, beating a guy like that brings me closer to my goal, which is Izzy, because he has the title. But I wanted Yoel for the longest. But, business-wise, it didn't make sense for them, I guess. But, again, the opportunity presented itself because a blessing another came in disguise, and we took it.
Yeah, and I love what you have said about this matchup, which is, I'm going to bring the fight to him. I'm not looking to survive. I'm looking to win. So since you wanted this for a long time, what is your vision of this matchup?
I mean, Yoel just has so many ways of fighting you. We know that he hangs back, he chills out, he's explosive. He plays a tricky mind game because you never see what's coming, and then you're like, what just happened? So although some people can be like, oh my God, he's old. First of all, that dude is not from this planet. You're 43 years old and he's built like a freaking action figure. I'm like, how is that even remotely possible? Like, I need some of your Cuban blood, bro. But I respect him because he has this warrior spirit, mentality, body, figure that he carries with him. And you look at him and when you think, you know what? Age is not a number, it's a feeling. And he looks amazing for how he is at his age. So I love stuff like that. And I just can't wait to crack at him because you got to bring the fight to a guy like that. You can't just hang out because now I'm going to play in his dead, I have to go out there and take it to him.
You mentioned that you like to rise to the level of your competition, and you've had 2 big wins in a row. What do we expect from you once you step foot inside that octagon?
I apologize. Say that one more time.
No. You've got 2 big wins in a row. You always seem to rise to the occasion. You mentioned that you've wanted Yoel for a long time. All of that being said, what can we expect from you personally when you step foot inside that octagon?
I mean, I'm not good at looking too much in the future, but I expect a fight. I expect war. I expect adversity. He's one of the best, and he's not just one of the best. He's one of the best for a reason. I mean, you've seen the wars he's been with, like top level guys, whether it's Robert Whitaker, whether it's Izzy or whoever. He's one of the best. So I expect him to bring it to me. I expect myself to bring it to him. I expect us both to be in there and try to take each other out. This might be what I think his 3rd loss, or he's coming off 3 losses.
Yeah.
So
this one.
He's looking to redeem himself. I'm looking to use this as leverage. It's whoever goes out there and imposes the will.
Well, we are so looking forward to this matchup. I have to tell you, happy belated birthday.
Yes, and me and your husband share the same birthday, so happy birthday to the man. And I just want to say that I have so much respect for your hubby. I know it didn't go his way, but the fact that he still is one of the best in the world, he held that spot for so long, he still does. And you know what? Fan of his. So happy birthday to Joe.
You're the best.
And inspiring us, man. You're still one of the best, buddy.
Thanks. Birthday twins. Well, we appreciate your time so much, Uriah. Best of luck to you. We will see you when you get here in Vegas. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. That's going to do it. But let's take a look one more time at the action you can expect here in the month of August. This Saturday, August 8th, the Black Beast, Derek Lewis takes on Alexei Oleinik. That one on ESPN Plus. And then August 15th, like we've been talking about, UFC 252. That's an ESPN Plus pay-per-view, the trilogy between Stipe and DC. And then, of course, August 22nd, Pedro Munoz versus Frankie Edgar. That long-awaited Edgar bantamweight debut. Lots of fight action here in Las Vegas for the month of August, and we hope to see you there for all of it.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.